I walked into our company's headquarters carrying red roses, a handwritten Valentine's card, and 2 first-class tickets to Paris, the same city where Ethan and I had celebrated our honeymoon 14 years earlier. I expected a smile. Instead, I found hundreds of employees applauding. Then I saw my husband kneel before our CEO, Victoria Hayes. He opened a velvet ring box, asked her to marry him, and kissed her as the crowd erupted in cheers. She said yes, with tears of happiness, believing she was engaged to a single man. Ethan looked up and saw me standing there. Our eyes locked for one unbearable second, and he didn't move. No apology. No explanation. He simply watched me walk away. By the time I reached my car, I had already made one decision: he had no idea what he had truly put at risk. If you've ever witnessed a betrayal that changed everything, leave a comment below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because what happened next shocked even the people who thought they knew the whole story. My name is Claire Morgan, and although Ethan was the public face of Morgan Dynamics, I had always been its largest shareholder. 14 years earlier, my father had financed the company, and our family still controlled 83% of its shares. Ethan became the celebrated CEO while I quietly built the strategy, negotiated investments, and protected the business from behind the scenes. Almost no employee knew I was his wife, and even fewer understood who truly controlled the company. As I sat in my car that afternoon, I canceled our Paris trip, froze every joint bank account, and called my attorney, Daniel Brooks. My voice never shook. "Prepare emergency corporate action," I said. "Effective immediately." Ethan believed he had betrayed only his marriage. He still didn't realize he had just put the future of his company in the hands of the woman he had humiliated in public. Less than 2 hours later, Ethan burst through the front door looking nothing like the confident CEO from that stage. He begged me to listen, insisting everything had spun out of control. Then the truth slipped out. He admitted he had told Victoria we had been separated for almost 2 years. To make the lie believable, he had rented an apartment, staged a second life, and hidden our marriage from executives, employees, and even members of the board. He kept saying he never meant to hurt me, only to buy time until he could fix everything. I let him speak without interrupting. Every excuse revealed another deception, and every lie gave me another reason to stay calm. When he finally stopped talking, I asked only one question. "Do you remember who actually owns this company?" His silence told me everything I needed to know. The moment Ethan left, I stopped thinking like a wife and started thinking like the chairwoman I had always been. Daniel arrived within the hour, and together we reviewed every document tied to our ownership. My family's 83% voting control was unquestionable. I instructed him to notify the board of an emergency meeting, suspend our investment commitments, freeze pending credit facilities, and halt the acquisition Ethan had spent months promoting. None of it violated our agreements, it simply activated rights that had always existed. By sunrise, lenders were demanding answers, investors were calling non-stop, and panic was spreading through the executive floor. Ethan believed the crisis was about cash flow. He had no idea this was only the first move, and I had not even begun looking for what else he had been hiding. While Ethan struggled to calm investors, I quietly started examining years of corporate records. At first, I was only searching for decisions he had made without informing me. Instead, one signature caught my attention. It looked like mine, but something felt wrong. Then I found another. And another. Daniel immediately hired forensic document examiners and financial investigators. Within days, they uncovered hundreds of contracts, loan approvals, luxury purchases, and executive expense reports bearing forged versions of my signature. The digital metadata made it even worse. Many of those files had been created from Ethan's executive account before being routed through internal approvals. This was no desperate mistake after an affair. Someone had built a long-running fraud using my name, and the investigators believed they were only seeing the beginning. Before the forensic report was finalized, someone inside the company tried to erase key evidence. Several digital files disappeared from the corporate server, and security logs showed unauthorized access during the night. For a brief moment, I feared the proof had been destroyed. But the independent audit firm had already created secure backups, and every deleted file could be recovered with its original metadata intact. Then another surprise changed everything. Victoria contacted Daniel asking for a private meeting. She had just discovered that Ethan was still married and that the apartment where he claimed to live alone had been rented only to support his lie. She looked devastated, not defensive. As she described everything Ethan had told her, I realized she had been manipulated too. The board meeting was only hours away, and this time Ethan would have nowhere left to hide. The boardroom fell silent as Daniel placed the forensic report on the table. One by one, the investigators explained the forged signatures, the financial records, the recovered metadata, and the chain of approvals leading back to Ethan's executive account. Then Victoria stood up. Calmly, she admitted Ethan had convinced her he had been divorced for nearly 2 years and described the apartment, the stories, and every lie he had used to deceive her. Ethan tried to interrupt, but no one believed him anymore. When I finally revealed that my family controlled 83% of the company's voting shares, every face in the room changed. Within minutes, the board voted to remove Ethan as CEO, terminate him for cause, and refer the fraud for civil action and possible criminal investigation. The man who once controlled the room left it completely alone. The investigations proved every forged document, every hidden loan, and every personal expense Ethan had buried under my name. He lost his position, future equity, and faced civil settlements that forced him to repay what he had taken. Because our prenuptial agreement and ownership records were clear, the divorce ended quickly. Victoria was cleared after investigators confirmed she had been deceived from the beginning, and I asked the board to keep her as CEO while I became chairwoman instead. Months later, I finally flew to Paris alone. The trip meant to save my marriage became the first chapter of my freedom. Almost a year later, Ethan sent me a letter admitting he had lost everything because of his own lies. I kept it, but never answered. Justice came when he lost his empire. Peace came when I stopped letting his betrayal define my future. What would you have done in my place? If this story kept you watching until the very end, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories of betrayal, resilience, and unforgettable justice. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Claire's position? Would you have forgiven Ethan, or made the same choices she did? Your opinion could inspire the next conversation.